Hello doll friends, this is Michael Canadas with the Carmel Doll Shop and the Grovian Doll Museum. Today I want to share with you a recent acquisition. I also want to make a confession. I love shoes. One time David and I were in, I love shoes so much that we were in Florence, and we couldn't buy any antiques. We couldn't find any antiques. And we went by the Ferragamo shop, and they just put in their window the recreation of the shoe that they were making for Marilyn Monroe's shoe that they made for her. And for about 10 minutes, David and I debated whether we should buy them. A, we don't wear ladies' shoes, and B, we couldn't figure out if you bought ladies' shoes, what size would you buy? So I love shoes, I love people's shoes, I love ladies' shoes, I love men's shoes, and I really, really love doll shoes. Now I have stopped my addiction to shoes, except when it comes to dolls, because I figure, I have to wear them on the street. But I also want to share a funny little story of a longtime frenemy of ours. I allowed her to go into our workshop, and she saw our cabinet with shoes, and she said to me the most negative thing that you could imagine. She said, "Don't you think you have enough?" And I was so shocked I didn't have a comeback. But to answer her question now, she follows us. No, we don't have enough, because you always need shoes. So this little box that I'm going to share with you, the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. Maybe don't judge a box by its cover. And this is something that's very interesting to me because of the Second World War. The whole area of Sonnenberg and East Germany was cut off. Therefore, a lot of things didn't get used up, particularly from manufacturers. And things got pushed aside, and this is one of the things that got pushed aside, which is interesting because then it becomes for us practically a whole document. So I'm going to open this up, and then I am going to show you what's inside. So this is a salesman sample box filled with shoes. So this was in a sales room, or went with salesmen or ladies, went to doll shops and other manufacturers to show what they were making. And this is also a very interesting document as well, because it gives you the idea of how many pairs that they made. So let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14, and that's interesting. Okay, because we have the halves and the zeros and whatnot. So this was a wide range of shoes that I am going to assume that if you wanted any of the shoes in this set, that you could get them in those sizes. So I'm going to lay this down so that then that way I can see upside down, because I want to show you this. This is something that you would see probably pretty regularly, very similar to what the Kessner Company made. Theirs would have a little pointier shoe. I wear a pair of shoes like this myself. They're oldies but goodies. So the next pair I'm going to show you all of them, because if you're watching this video, you probably love shoes as much as I do. I think these are amazing. Look at that little checkerboard design. And I think that this could really make, this could go on a boy or a girl, and they could make a very stylish outfit. So let me, just for fun, figure out what size these are. So it looks like they're all of these are size 4. So, and that seems like a pretty good standard size, good size doll that lots of people like. And then I've had these on many, many dolls. A brown canvas with the little serged edge and then the little pom-poms. And I think this is something to think about, shoemakers. They've taken just a basic shoe and then they've cut in and made those little window pane design, which is very cute. So we have that in, it looks to me like this was originally, they're basically the same, but they're not. This is a little bit different, and you can see that this has a surging edge and this does not. Now, these little tags are invaluable for researchers. I have to pull that out, okay. So that you can see that they had, that was the stock number, 1957, but you can see the slash. I think that that has to do with size 4. So let's look and see if we have a 4. Yep. So all of these are size 4. So even though they're slightly the same, they're different because this would have the serging, which would be a little more work, a little more product going into it. And then we have basically the same as our camel, but we have it in red. Again, serged. The edge is serged. This I've had on many, many. It's gotten a little, they're a little off now, but black, basic black with your pom-pom. If you were a doll costumer maker, that would be very handy. And then another, those may be navy blue and these may be black, or, well, no, they're both black, but one has the white and one has the black. Very clever too. And then we also have, again, fully marked, and we've got cocoa brown with brown display. And then here with this one, if we can get really in close, very interesting serging. If I would love to have a machine that could do that. And then these are something that you really normally see on a Cathy Cruz doll or a Camkins, and I would bet that we could probably match up the foot of a Camkins. I think it would be either 6 or 7, and we might have actually found the maker of their shoes. And then we have then just a very simple canvas with just a top stitching, and then another black no serging with the same window pane cutouts in it as those. And these are kind of a neat combo. We've got, I would imagine this was a very pleasing color of blue, and then with pink pom-poms, and again that nice serging, fully marked with everything. And then this is kind of the, I think that this is probably one of the most unique pairs, definitely for a toddler, and not following the shape of the other shoes. So even though it's still a 4, you can see it's wider. So this was probably for a toddler doll, where the rest of these are all for what I would consider child dolls, although they could go onto toddlers. And then we have another pair of blue with the cut work, and I could use these on so many dolls. Now, what I think is interesting about this grouping, I think it would be so tempting for someone to take a pair of shoes out because they need them for a doll, but as a group, this is worth so much more historically to keep it together. And what we're going to do, because, you know, if you had this like so, or just like this, it's not going to really show in a cabinet. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in a shadow box where you could have the shoes on the wall all in this position with this behind it. And we've got a lot more wall space here than we do cabinet space. But I think it's important for us all to really use, there are lots of catalogs, original catalogs that show you these items, but when you see it in life, it totally changes it. And of course, the catalogs that we see are only available for certain years, and then other time frames are missing. But you can never have too many pairs of shoes. So let's see, we've got 5, 10, 15 pairs. So I feel really rich right now. Anyways, friends, I hope you enjoyed this session, and we will be back. Bye-bye. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.